auspicious for Narsimha Chaturdasi. So we know that Narsimha Chaturdasi is coming up. So let's try to prepare our mood in Narsimha Chaturdasi. My voice may not be so clear, so you have to bear with me. तो अभी जो नरसिम्हा चतुर्दशी आ रहा है, हम अपने start preparing ourselves, meditating on Prahlad Maharaj for during this Narasimha Chaturdasi. So we know, most of us know this pastime of Narasimha Chaturdasi. We know like Lord appeared as Narasimha Dev to actually deliver Hiranyakashipu and to protect his devotees. So here Prabhupada tells that Lord actually appears for two things. One is to prove to the atheists that yes, Lord is there, and other is to show the devotees that he is there to protect the devotees. And we know like why Lord wanted to actually perform this Leela. He wanted to use this power to fight. So he wanted somebody to fight with. So that's how like Vijaya and Jai, they actually were cursed by the four sons of Brahma, and then they had to take their birth. So one of the incarnation was Hiranyakashipu, and then Lord appears as Narasimha Dev because of the qualities of exhibited by Prahlad Maharaj. He appears and actually kills Hiranyakashipu and satisfy these things. So whenever this Leelas happens, so there are some things that we have to learn from this pastimes. So we can see how from Hiranyakashipu से हम देख सकते हैं कि हमें क्या क्या नहीं करना है, और प्रहलाद महाराज से हम सीख सकते हैं कि एक भक्त के होने के नाते हमें क्या क्या करना है, कौन सा क्वालिटीज को हमें अपना लाना है. So let's not discuss about Hiranyakashipu, what qualities we should not have. Already we are being contaminated in this material world, so automatically, naturally these qualities are there within us. So we should only see like how we can actually become purified by hearing about the pastimes and knowing about the qualities what Prahlad Maharaj actually exhibited. So in Bhagavatam, if you see in the 7th canto, 4th chapter, in the verse 30 and 31, there is a discussion between Narada Muni and Yudhishthira. So नारद मुनि और युधिष्ठिर महाराज चर्चा करते हैं प्रहलाद महाराज को क्वालिटीज का बारे में. ये 7th कैंटो 4th चैप्टर में 31 and 32 श्लोका में आता है. तो इसमें बताते हैं कि प्रहलाद का क्या जो विशेष गुण है जो हमें अपनाना है. सो पहले बोलते हैं कि नारद मुनि बोलते हैं कि प्रहलाद was an unalloyed devotee of Krishna, or unalloyed devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So unalloyed क्या होता है इसका मतलब? So unalloyed होता है कि कोई भी मिक्सचर नहीं होना है. एक शुद्ध भक्त थे प्रहलाद महाराज. So शुद्ध भक्ति यानी क्या है, इसका मतलब क्या है? So what do you mean by actually purity? So Prahlad means P, starts with the letter P. So the first quality that Prahlad exhibited is purity. So what do we mean by purity? How do we understand this purity? So there it is explained that purity means knowing that what should be done and what should not be done, what shouldn't be done. So Prahlad Maharaj, although he was born in a very, very opulent family, he had his father conquering all the three worlds, and he had all the opulences to enjoy. But still, Prahlad Maharaj was actually got the instructions from his Guru Maharaj, and then he was following that instructions because he was knowing what was ultimate benefit, and he had unflinching faith on the instructions of his guru, and the unflinching faith on the scriptures. So when we have this unflinching faith on the scriptures and knowing that the Lord is the supreme enjoyer, then we know what is that to be done. So that is why even though Prahlad Maharaj had all the opulences, like he was very clear that what is to be done. He was never attracted by the opulences of what his father has to have offer. So even sometimes like when we have an opulent father and we want to enjoy things, sometimes even though we know that our father is not right, sometimes to enjoy that opulence, we will say, yes, father, whatever you are saying is right. But Prahlad Maharaj was a pure devotee of a Lord. That's why he did not have even a single doubt, single point at any single point of time. His intentions were very straight. There is a shloka from Bhagavad Gita which says, "Vyavasayatmika buddhi eko kuru nandana." So the unflinching, the pure devotees of the Lord, they have a unflinching faith. Their direction is one. They're always looking how to attain the law, how to please the Supreme Lord. So because of the love of Godhead, so this quality Prahlad Maharaj had. So that is why he was not disturbed with whatever disturbances his father had to offer. And no matter how powerful his father was, he was always straightforward, and he was always presenting the Lord as the supreme personality of God, and he wanted to please the Lord, no matter what circumstances may come. So that is one quality that we should know. Purity means knowing what to be done and what not to be done, and then following the scriptures and following the instructions of our guru, and practicing it. So that's very, very important. And Prahlad Maharaj, by his example, showed that no matter what kind of trouble comes, no matter what kind of opulence was there, he was not attracted to that, but he was always very steady in his path of devotion. So that is the first part what Narad Muni talks, the first quality of Prahlad Maharaj. And then the second quality of the second important quality of Prahlad Maharaj, what Narad Muni discusses is the respect. So Prahlad Maharaj always offered respect to his peers in the form of his friends, even though he had demon friends, he had all the respects for them. He considered them to be their brothers, and he always instructed them. He was always actually telling them about the pastimes of the Lord and how actually they can take the path of devotion. And he always offered respect to the elders, as if considering them as their teachers. He offered all the respects to the elders, and then he offered the respects to his gurus, considering them to the as good as the Supreme Lord. So he offered all the respects to them. So we can see in various circumstances in the pastimes of Prahlad Maharaj also, even though to his father, who was an atheist. He was not only an atheist. Hiranyakashipu was not only atheist. Atheist means like जो भगवान को नहीं मानते हैं. So प्रहलाद हिरण्यकशिपु सिर्फ ऐसा नहीं थे कि जो भगवान को नहीं मानते थे, पर हिरण्यकशिपु actually was an antithesis. Antithesis means somebody who is actually wants to stop even somebody believes in the God, they want to actually not allow them to actually practice them, to have faith on the Lord. So Hiranyakashipu was that kind of a person. He was an antithesis. So we can see like in the past times, like how Hiranyakashipu was actually trying to kill all the cows, so that the Brahmanas could not offer any yagnas. For yagna, we know that important thing is the ghee and the fruits to be offered to the Lord. So he was such a kind of person that he actually was actually killing all the cows so that the Brahmanas doesn't get the ghee, and then he was actually uprooting all the plants which had fruits so that they don't get any fruits to offer to the Lord, to ensure. Hiranyakashipu was such a kind of person that he was not only having any belief in the Lord, but he was also creating problem for the followers of who had belief in the Lord. And amongst that Prahlad Maharaj was his own son, and even at that time, even knowing that his father was an antithesis, still Prahlad Maharaj, when actually in conversation with Hiranyakashipu, you can see in Bhagavatam, he will mention, "Oh, great amongst the demons." He will actually offer all the respects to his father when he's actually calling his father. So there you can see how the quality of a devotee is. Sometimes what happens, especially amongst devotees, we offer our respects to devotees mostly, but when it comes to non-devotees or Mayavadis, sometimes we feel that we need not offer respects to them. No, it's not like that. We should take this quality as an example from Prahlad Maharaj. Whenever a Mayavadi comes, approaches us, or a non-devotee approaches us, we should offer them our respects. Only thing is that we should not hear from them. We should not take their association, but we should surely offer our respects to them, and then and always meditate them and trying to give an opportunity for them to actually take to this Krishna consciousness. So offering respects is one of the very, very important quality that we should actually learn from Prahlad Maharaj. So the next important quality which Narada Muni mentions about Prahlad Maharaj is the control of the senses. So, we know, like I was discussing, like how Prahlad Maharaj had all the opulences. His father was so rich, he could offer him anything, to his son, and he was so dear. His son was so dear to him. But Prahlad Maharaj, even though he had all the opulences, he was very simple in his living, and his dealings were so nice. So I'm saying simple here to Prahlad Maharaj. Why? Because see, if you don't have anything and if you live simple, there is nothing. Like you are going to be simple, but you have everything, but still you don't want to use anything, and then use whatever is necessary. That is actually a simple living. So Prahlad Maharaj exhibited that how he exhibited, because of the proper association he had with Narada Muni. So he was associating with Narada Muni. So that is how he was able to control the senses. There is a nice example which I was really hearing in one of the lectures, just like how to control the senses. Controlling senses is very, very difficult thing, and for Prahlad Maharaj it was more difficult thing because he was amongst the association of the demons, and the demons, they are actually they always want to enjoy their senses. So but we see from Prahlad Maharaj how always he was actually meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he was actually praying very intensely to the Supreme Lord, and he was actually always meditating about the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the instructions of his spiritual masters. And even when he was in the receiving instructions from his so-called materialistic guru, whenever he was finding an opportunity, he was trying to preach to his friends. So he was always meditating about the Supreme Lord. So it is very important to know for us that in order to control our senses, it is very important for us to engage in the devotional service of the Lord. So one example, what was given in that lecture was that just like when you take a empty glass by default is actually filled with air. It may look empty, but it is by default filled with air. So similarly, our senses by default it is filled with thoughts of gratifying the senses. But to actually take out this air, what we should do, we should actually fill it with water. So similarly, to take away our thoughts of gratifying the senses, we should engage our senses in such a way that we can, in such a way that we are always engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. And devotional service of the Lord includes hearing about the pastimes of the Lord, then doing sevas of the Lord, taking some austerities. So this is how actually we can engage ourselves so that we can control our senses. So this is what a great example what Prahlad Maharaj actually can give us. And the fourth quality uh, which Narada Muni actually says is actually the humbleness which Prahlad Maharaj had. So I talked first about the purity, second about the respect one has to offer like Prahlad Maharaj, and third the control of senses through the association, proper association, and engaging our senses properly. Third is the humbleness what Prahlad Maharaj had to offer. Prahlad Maharaj was very, very humble. Like I said, I gave the earliest examples also, like how you used to offer respect to even his antithesis father. He used to call him with all the respects, and he was never considering himself at a highest stage. So in one pastime which I remember is in one of the pastimes I was hearing, like once Narad Muni was actually glorifying Prahlad Maharaj, and he was telling to Narad Muni that if you PS for you, you got the Lord actually appeared. And then uh, uh, they very no, Guru, because that actually because of Brahma that had appeared. It's because of my father who say Vijaya to deliver them had appeared. Hare Krishna. I just lost signal. So just to continue, just to finish it, wrap it up. So it was not because of me; it was because of them. It was to ensure that the whatever the vow that Brahma had given to make it reality in reality. So for that, Lord had appeared. To deliver my father, he had appeared. To show the devotees that I am there, he had appeared. So Prahlad was very, very humble. He did not even consider, although Lord appeared mainly to because of the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. But still, when Narada Muni himself was saying it was because of you that Lord appeared, but he was so humble enough to actually not take the credit, but in fact to pass it on to others. So these are some of the qualities that we can learn from Prahlad Maharaj. If you're more interested in knowing about the qualities, then as I said, you can refer to the seventh canto, fourth chapter, verse 30, 31, 32. So during this, the every time we have the festival, we should actually remember the past time, and then we should very importantly meditate on the qualities of a devotee. So these qualities are very, very important for us to inculcate, to practice, and to adapt. So we should learn these things through a pure devotee of the Lord. We'll stop here in the interest of time. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Guruji, thank you very much. On this uh, occasion of Narasimha Chaturdashi, who glorified uh, Lord Maharaj and uh, mentioned some of the important qualities of Maharaj.